What's going on, guys? So today we've got a little bit of a different video. What we're going to do is, a few people have asked this question and kind of sent me messages about what we use to film and edit videos with. One person in particular was Calym Dargan, sent me a message and kind of prompted me to make this video and kind of think that it might be useful for you guys. So, you know, he's doing some YouTube stuff, so I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. But what we're going to do today is pretty much, I'm going to run you through the camera setup that we've used to make pretty much, there was a Kettering hour of power, I think it was that. That's when we first started using the digital SLRs. Up until that, before that it was GoPro Hero 4s, and then everything after that was on digital SLRs other than either the GoPro chest mount videos, slow-mo videos, or obviously iPhone clips. Other than that, it would have been filmed on this setup that I'm about to show you. So I'll kind of run you through what we use, why we use it, and kind of how we use it, and hopefully it'll be useful for you guys. So the first thing that we've got is the camera itself and the main lens that we use to film with. The camera itself is a Canon 600D. This was bought back in 2008, so quite some time ago. They still make them, but you can kind of pick them up a little bit cheaper now than what you would have paid back in the day. And there's kind of other models now that are more affordable and do just as good a job as this does. To be fair, this isn't a top of the range camera, you know, it's kind of a beginner to intermediate digital SLR, but it does the job for what we need it to do. Now, this lens that we've got on here now is the main lens that we use. It's the Samyang fisheye lens, bought off eBay for about $300. You can buy the licensed Canon fisheye lenses, or kind of Sigma lenses like that. They're a lot more expensive. This was a cheap alternative and it doesn't do too bad of a job. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't have the digital connection to the camera, so it won't talk to the camera body and kind of do things automatically, which isn't really a big issue when it comes to fisheyes. And you know, for $300, what can you expect? I broke that. I can't remember what video was it. I think it was the How to Foot Jam video, the very last clip, or one of them. Can't remember. I did a Canadian foot jam and slammed down on the camera. That broke that off. It's pretty much just a lens hood to kind of block out the sun. So the bare bones of our setup is pretty much Canon 600D body with a Samyang fisheye lens on it. It's worked for us so far, you know, it's reliable. We haven't had any issues with this. Nathan's camera he uses, so if there's anything filmed on his camera, is a Canon 80D, I think, so that's kind of a newer, kind of higher end model camera. But what we do is we generally match our settings so that when switching between the kind of two cameras, you don't notice an incredible difference. This, I think, is set at the moment to filming at 1080p at, I have a feeling it's either 24 or 25 frames per second. I'll check now for you. So I've actually lied. That's not at 1080, it's at 1280 by 720 at 50 frames per second is what we're filming at. That seems to work for us. We can upload to YouTube in high definition, and the 50 frames per second kind of means it's probably still not enough to do slow-mo and have it like nice and flowy, but you know, it kind of gives us nice smooth shots. But other than that, really, you know, camera-wise and lens-wise, there's not really much else to it. It's just simply the fisheye lens from Samyang and then the Canon 600D body. I'll show you now the microphone that we run on it as well, and kind of a couple of different setups that we use kind of on tripods, and then hand stabilizers. Something else that's really important is that we're using an external mic as well. You can get away with using the microphone that's built into this camera. It'll do the job fine, but we find that when it kind of gets, you know, you're out kind of filming, it gets a little bit windy, this mic doesn't really want to cooperate, so we kind of use an external mic, and it gives us a little bit more control over kind of microphone levels, and kind of just works out a little bit better. In that sense, we can also put the Dead Cat windbreak on, so that kind of cuts out any of that wind noise. You still will get wind noise to an extent, but it definitely makes it a little bit better. And this simply just shoots into the hot shoe mount there, like that, and then it's just got kind of a coiled cable into the back there, open up the side, and then boom, bang in there. That right there is often what we'll use if we don't want to kind of cut around the stabilizer, or we're sitting on a tripod, we'll kind of just film like that. That'll do the job there. You know, you can take that off if it's not windy and you're kind of not moving like that. If you're moving like that, you will pick up wind noise from actually moving the microphone around. So generally we just keep that on just to be safe. But that there is a setup that we've used many a time. Pretty simple, but again, it does the job. I'll grab a stabilizer and then I'll show you the tripod setup, and then that's pretty much all we're using on the camera side. What I will do then is I'll just take you through the editing side of things, what program I'm using, and we'll have a quick squiz at that. Now when it comes to self-filming, this tripod is your best friend. You can kind of position the camera up in angles and know that it's going to be stable and not fall over. This is a pretty small tripod. I do have a bigger one, but it's kind of a bit big and cumbersome to carry around to skate parks. This is really nice and compact, and it can fold out into a bigger tripod as well, which is always handy. But normally the way I'll do it is you just screw it in like that, and then you can just set this up simply to do some self-film things. A lot of the videos, the most recent one that was full self-filmed exactly like this would have been the local lines at Gilston Bay, I think. It was all filmed just on this. I think it had a straight lens on, not the fisheye though. But with the tripod just positioned to kind of get angles like that. Now what I'll do is I'll show you the stabilizer rig that we kind of use, which is more for kind of doing running shots. It kind of cuts down and smooths out the movements a little bit, but still it can get a little bit shaky at times. But I'll build that one up and I'll show you guys what that one looks like. So pretty much as you can see with this one here, it's an identical setup, almost. It's running same camera, same lens, same microphone, but it's just on this Scorpion grip, which you can buy off eBay for like, I think I picked this one up for $20 or something like that. But the idea behind it is as you're running and kind of moving, it's meant to put your arm in a position so it doesn't shake. For $20, it's definitely worth it. It does cut down a fair bit of movement, but still you can notice it and it can get quite bumpy. Something I feel that I want to get better at with filming is possibly using skateboards. I can't skateboard to save my life, but you know, rolling shots on skateboards look kind of nice, and it cuts out a lot of that bouncy movement and kind of can stop a viewer from getting nauseous from just kind of going up and down like that and getting out of control. But you know, for $20 it was a good purchase, but we don't really use it that often anymore. Just quickly, I'll go through some of the other lenses that we have. That's the fisheye lens, so it's that big wide open angle of view. A couple of other lenses that we have, don't really use this one that often, but this is a 55 to 250mm zoom lens from Canon. This came with the camera when I bought it. When it was bought, it came in a kit. It had the body and 3 lenses, I believe. This was one of them, so this is the zoom lens. Again, don't really use it that often. It's cool for like if you want to be zoomed out quite far, but most of the time with BMX, you kind of want the action to be quite close. This is probably better for photos than filming, but it's always an option, and we have it there. This here is one of the other lenses, the second lens that came with the camera when I bought it. Straight 50mm lens. This thing is awesome for photos, and it's kind of cool for artsy kind of videos as well. I did drop this and it did burst apart, and I put it back together. It kind of works like it used to. It just kind of, I think I scrambled the brains in it a little bit, so it kind of takes a little bit of time for it to get its act together. Doesn't sound, you know, the greatest, but when it does work, it's an awesome lens. We don't really use it for filming that much. The other lens that in the Gilston Bay local lines video I was using was this 18-55 lens. This is kind of just a stock standard, very basic lens. Again, this was the third lens that came with the camera when I bought it. And this thing's just awesome to kind of whack on and then just kind of gets nice tripod shots, videos, and then it's kind of, it doesn't give that big kind of fish-eyed look. It's just a nice straight lens, and it's got a little bit of zoom on it as well, which is kind of nice. So it's a bit flexible. You can pull it out or push in a little bit. This is probably the second most used lens after the fisheye. But you know, that's all the lenses that we've got showing in the bag. The only other stuff that's in there is like a handful of memory cards and then spare batteries as well. But alone, out of most of the videos that you guys would have seen on the channel, it's either this setup here, fisheye, microphone, Canon 600D, or the 18-55 lens. What we'll do now is we'll go and have a quick look at Final Cut, and that should be about it. Okay, so just quickly, this is Final Cut Pro, what we use to edit the videos in. We did start on Adobe Premiere. I can't remember what the last thing on it. Premiere, I think it's CS4. Can't remember what it's called. But we moved to Final Cut Pro simply just because of the workflow in it. It was kind of nice to work in. I'll just quickly skim over this because there is a lot to it. But this is pretty much just what we're using to edit all of the videos. You can kind of see this is one of the previous videos edited here. I'll just zoom out so you can try and do this with one hand. There we go. So you can kind of just see the general idea is pretty much, you've got clips all along there, music down the bottom. Pretty much got your clip manager here where you can pick certain clips and things like that, and then you can put text in there. There is a lot to Final Cut. If you do want a separate video where I go fully in depth on how to edit in Final Cut Pro, let us know and I can definitely do that. But yeah, it's pretty much, it's just a glorified version of Windows Movie Maker, but it's just kind of, as I said before, the workflow through it is kind of nice, as you can see. The computer doesn't like it and it's lagging out a little bit, but yeah, it's just pretty much the simple idea of clips, music underneath, those things in the middle there, the kind of crossfades and things like that. If you saw how to edit in iMovie, a lot of the principles are transferable between any program that you're using. They're quite similar, or it's just the same idea kind of throughout different editing software. Again, just like this because of the workflow. But if you want an in-depth video on editing a video in Final Cut, let us know. We can definitely do something like that. So hopefully that's answered a few questions about kind of how we go about filming our videos. Not so much on the editing side. Again, if you do want to see an in-depth Final Cut video, I can take you through one of our previous videos and show you exactly in-depth kind of what we did, how we got it done. Apologies for kind of the low quality on this video. Again, filming on an iPhone, not the main camera, just so you guys can see this thing. But again, hopefully it's helped you out and kind of answered a few questions in regards to what we do with filming and the equipment we're using. So hopefully this video has kind of answered a few questions about how we go about filming our videos and a little bit on the editing side. If you've got any questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and you know, we'll get back to you and kind of answer it as best we can. If we can, we should be able to, I hope. But anyway, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Remember to follow us on Instagram and check us out on Facebook too. And we will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.